One evening when we were doing a community event, the police department called and asked if there was any animal control officers on. It was about 9:30 in the evening, and we happened to still be on. So myself and Officer Chavez went over to a neighborhood, and there was a pit bull dog, very thin, and it looked like it was all scarred up, like it maybe been in a fight. It had cables on it and chains on it, and it was hooked to this man's brick wall in his front yard. And the man said that he just happened to see the dog out there. We unhooked the dog, and the dog was very trusting and very nice, and seemed injured, was hurt, but it could still move around, and you could tell it was uncomfortable. And actually some of the cable was going right into its wounds, and very comfortable that way. So we got Cuddles loaded, and of course everybody thought that maybe he'd been fought. He was part of a fighting ring or something like that. And it was still pretty dark out. It was hard to see what the wounds were all about, really. So got him back to the shelter and started looking at him and went, wow, this is pretty intense, and decided that first thing in the morning I would take him to Casa Grande Animal Hospital and they would take a look at him. He had just raw red skin, all exposed and scabbing, and of course he was full of ticks, and it was a mess. And so the vet, he did great with his exam, and they always help us out the best they can, but his quote of how much it was going to be just to get him cleaned up and starting to heal, and of course it would be a process, would started at $800. So since I had some vet teching skills, I decided, well, we can't afford that as a team here. So, but he gave me some tips on, showed me what to do, told me what to do, and I took him back, and for the next 3 or 4 days, he had baths in our tub here at the shelter. And we debrided, which means pulling off all that old skin till it was down to just nice pink raw skin, which is the healthy skin, although it makes it look horrible before it heals. So he was such a trooper. He would get very tired though. I'd have to give him breaks, and that's why it took 3 or 4 days to get it done. In the meantime, we put him on antibiotics, and of course we vaccinated him, and we gave him everything. We dewormed him and did everything else we could for him. About a week into it, we noticed that he wasn't gaining weight, although he was eating, and he started favoring his right rear leg. We had him tested for valley fever, and sure enough, his titer was very high for valley fever. Well, that in itself is very expensive to take care of, so we did what we could. We got started on some meds, and didn't really know how far we were going to get to go from there on it though, because we knew this was a big chunk to take out. And you have to realize, if you save this one dog and you spend $800 on this one dog, that's maybe 5 or 6 dogs in the community that you could have had spayed or gotten to a home or that. So it's very expensive. But then we started putting some word out, and we got the help of a guardian angel, a woman that decided she heard a story and that she would take this on. And Officer Tiemann took him back and forth to veterinary specialists in Tucson for several weeks and had treatments done, a newer treatment that isn't normally used. There's a vet down there that's specializing in valley fever treatments and trying to help eradicate it, and he got to be on that program. And so they did 12 different treatments 2 or 3 times a week, I believe, and soon his coat started coming in, and his quit favoring his leg, and all the time, the whole time, he was just the sweetest dog from the get-go. Everybody's his friend. And we had decided at the beginning we could have given him some ogre name because he looked kind of like a big bully, but we decided to call him Cuddles because of his personality. And it stuck, even though we tried to change it a couple times. So he actually took the hearts of a lot of people, and one being one of our own animal control officers, and that's Officer Tiemann, and she decided to adopt him. He's going to still need treatment is still going to be pretty pricey to take care of him, but it's worth it. He's a great dog. I knew he was really in need and needed some help for sure. Didn't know how extensive his wounds were, if they pertain to inside too. We couldn't afford to do blood work to make sure all of his organs and things like that were okay. That tells a big story from the inside. So we took a chance on just seeing how he would respond with the treatment we could give him, and it worked, and he just blossomed before our eyes, and he started playing, and you could just tell he was so grateful and happy, and that's what makes this job so good. Takes all the bad away and makes it good when you can help one like that.